Yep, today's date is August 2nd, 2026. This dream I had last night will absolutely not be popular at all. And I'm going to just read you this dream. And I don't even feel comfortable talking about it, but I feel like I can't withhold it either, so here we go. I dreamed that this drought and wildfire emergency was the Lord's judgment. You know, one of the Lord's judgment on America for its sin. What sin, it didn't say. The catastrophic wildfire and drought emergency of this huge windswept by very high winds wildfires, they merged into one and absolutely raged, and the state of Washington was mentioned in the towering massive walls of flames. And it said in the dream there were fatalities. And referring to all of these fires, there were fatalities, or had been. Whether there was or not, how many, I don't know. And then it said this catastrophic wildfire emergency was just now this morning really beginning to get its act together. And it was really beginning to get its act together as the winds and lower humidities and the heat began to pick up. Then it changed and said America had gone against Israel and sinned against the Lord, and this wildfire catastrophic disaster was his judgment on this land, one of them. It said again, and these fires, they engulfed entire towns at once, and the firefighting efforts were in vain in this major catastrophic wildfire and drought emergency for Washington State that was and would be taking place today. And it mentioned that Saturday it was very bad in Washington, and then Sunday, August the 2nd, 2026. And then it put emphasis again in this dream that there had been a lot of fatalities, whether it was animals, livestock, people, I don't know. And I'm not even comfortable talking about this dream at all. And that's what it said in that dream about all these fires in the West, like all of that. The dream ended there, but there was emphasis, and it was like, and they're talking about all these in Oregon, some in like Montana, Idaho, California. You know, all of these fires that were just everywhere. It was talking about it being judgment, but the emphasis for the worst of them was Washington State. And that's why all these fires were going on. And I'm just going to say that I feel if anybody's life and everything is going to burn, I feel quite frankly that my life should burn. Everything I have should burn, because I fail before God and don't have any of my emotions, thoughts, or anything, and I've murmured terrible things in my closet in private and doubted and been unfaithful, and I feel if anybody goes to hell, it should be me going to hell. And that's how I feel about things, and I feel that I'm the one that deserves everything to burn more than anybody else in this world, because my life is in sin, and I'll tell you it's in sin, and I've hated my life because it's in such a sinful condition. And again, if anybody deserves to go to hell, I feel it should be me that goes to hell. Hate to share that dream with you, hate to be negative, but that's how I'm feeling. And the literal vivid dream I had last night of like 5 of these wildfires merged into one massive fire, and there was like 30 to 50 mile an hour winds merged them all together, and they just came like a big long line across the landscape and swept over the land just like a storm. And it was very terrible. I mean, very terrible for like Washington emphasis. And they said that a bunch of Spokane, Washington burned last night. And I was seeing something about a whole lot of fires in Spokane. And yeah, that dream was very troubling. And I don't think I'm a good man either. Much love, everybody. August 2nd, 2026. That was my dream about these fires.